In Google Sheets, you want to be able to reference a sheet by its sheet ID, not just by its name. And I'm going to show you why in this video. I'm going to show you how using this function, which I do provide to you. It's called GetSheetById, and you can actually get a copy of it from me and some other functions I've created as well for AppScript. But to start off, first of all, I want to make sure we understand the difference between the spreadsheet ID and the sheet ID. The spreadsheet ID identifies the entire document, while a sheet ID identifies a specific sheet within the document. So let me point those out. So this is the spreadsheet ID, which identifies the whole spreadsheet, meaning even if I have multiple sheets, the whole document. And this is the sheet ID, which identifies this specific sheet. Regardless of the name, this is the sheet ID, 0. Now, to quickly demonstrate that, if I make a copy of the entire spreadsheet, you will see, keep in mind the original spreadsheet ID starts with 1NZ. However, the copy spreadsheet ID starts with 1WX, so on and so forth. They are entirely different. However, sheet names are the same, and the sheet ID for this sheet is the same. All right. And even when I change the name of the sheet ID remains the same. Okay. Even after the sheet is copied, no matter what, this sheet ID always remains the same. All right. So for instance, I'll just go ahead and change the name of this sheet to demo, and clearly it's still sheet ID number 0. All right. So this is the reason why we want to be able to reference sheets by the ID, not just by the name, because this way, if our users or anyone changes the name of a sheet, we still can reference the sheet specifically. All right, and that's why I have this function. However, the clumsy thing about AppScript is that you can reference sheets by name. You can pull a sheet by its name, meaning they have that functionality built in, but they don't have a functionality to pull a sheet by its ID. So for instance, I'm going to do var sheet, let's say, right? I can do spreadsheet app get active spreadsheet, and I can do get sheet by name, right? And I can put the name of a sheet, demo, and that way I can reference that sheet. Now I have a reference to the sheet. In fact, I'll use SS, right? So spreadsheet equals spreadsheet app, active spreadsheet, get sheet by name, demo. However, what they don't have, if you take this out, they don't have a get sheet by ID, where I just want to reference the sheet by its ID. There's no get sheet by ID. Now they have a get sheet ID, but that's not what I need here, right? What they have is this. If I know the name of the sheet, I can grab the sheet's ID. So now I know that the sheet ID is 0, right? So this is actually different. This would be a SSID in this case. So I can do that, but I cannot actually say, hey, give me the sheet, or let me write to the sheet that has an ID, sheet ID of 0. Okay, that's not built into AppScript. So that's why you need this function. All right, get sheet by ID. So go ahead and you can get a copy of this function. And I have others as well. I have a ton of functions I've written over the years. So this is just one of them. All right, so you go ahead and get a copy of this function. Now let me show you how I'm actually going to use this function, for instance. To write to a sheet. So if I want to write to a sheet, to a specific sheet, right? I'll do function, not function. I'm going to do, what is it? Sheet, SS equals get sheet by ID. Okay. So I'm going to reference the sheet that I want by its ID, not by its name in this case. Okay. And then I can do SS. Now that I have a reference to that sheet, I can do get range A2, for instance, dot set value, and I can print some text to a particular cell on that sheet. Okay, I'll go ahead and save this. Right, see, so I'm using get sheet by ID to pull reference to that sheet and now write to the sheet. So all I do now, select write sheet here, run it, and I can go in here and I can see that it has written the result, right? Now if I add another sheet, just to demonstrate, to make a point again, you'll see that this second sheet this new sheet I just added has a entirely different sheet ID, 18448367732. So if I want to do something to this sheet, right, I can do the same thing. Okay, I can do the same idea here, and just to show you, right now it's blank, right? And it doesn't matter what the sheet name is. I can change this to whatever I want. Okay, change it to whatever I want. Okay, this is the second sheet that has this sheet ID, and again, I'm going to run the function from inside of the AppScript editor. Normally, for users, I create buttons or I create like a menu item, right? But in testing, I'm just going to run it from AppScript, and there it is. We see. Now remember, I referenced this sheet by this ID, and we see I was able to write to that sheet. Okay, so that's it. I mean, that's all there really is to this. It's just a matter of being able to reference a sheet by its sheet ID so that we can then edit the sheet or read from the sheet, write to the sheet, or whatever we want to do. No matter what happens with the names of these sheets, right, the function will continue to work. Okay, and that's about it. So look, again, I have tons of functions that I've written over time, so you can get access to these functions. I should have a link where you can go and just it should be in a Google Drive folder, because the thing is, I also provide copies, for instance, of this file. These demo copies will also be in there, copies of these demo files. So if you just, want whatever's in here, all of that stuff is in there. The actual code of this function and other functions that I've written, and I'm adding, because the thing is, I have all these functions, but I don't have them all in one place. So I'm compiling it all together. So once you go ahead and you subscribe and get your copy, what's going to happen is I'm going to keep, you're going to keep having access to all of the functions that I'm going to keep adding. Okay, as I go grab more functions and add them in there, they'll be in there, and I'll make videos, and you'll have more and more copies. So you go ahead and get a copy, get your access so that you can keep getting the stuff. And that's about it. GetSheetById. So, check the description of this video. You should have my contact information in there. If you're watching this video before 2025, the link to download this won't be in the actual video. So until my YouTube account is verified, you will have to go to the home page, so to speak, of the channel. So click on the channel name and go to that home page. Right under the name, I should have a link, and you can use that link to download this stuff. And then if you're watching the video in 2025, by then the account is verified, and you should be able, the link should be in the actual video. You should be able to just go in the description of this video, click the link, and if it's not there, it just means I didn't add it yet. So then you can go to the home page of the channel. But either way, you should be able to go ahead and get access to this stuff. Okay, the access is there. So that's about it. Again, you can contact me. Information is provided in the description of the video. So I look forward to either hearing from you directly or just seeing you around in another video on the channel.